So let's talk about Yo MTV Raps, because I'm talking about rap videos by Special Ed, and I mentioned before that we didn't have BET, so it's like, where the hell are you getting these videos from? So sometime, I don't know exactly when it was, but Yo MTV Raps premiered. So of course we had MTV, and they weren't just going to cut off the black station for us little black kids in the racist town of Warren, Ohio. They weren't going to just not show us the black segment of the show. So of course we got to see the show. So the show was crazy hype. It was crazy wild. Everybody the next day at school, which I think the show came on like on Saturday. So everybody that next week during school was talking about the show really crazy, how they all watched it and how it was so dope and everything, and we all loved it. And then at that point we would all it would come on Saturday mornings at like 9 a.m. so I would have to set my alarm every Saturday. I was in front of that TV watching Yo MTV Raps. Best believe every Saturday I was watching it. And it actually wasn't that we went back to school. I was in the band, so there was the football game on that Saturday evening. So the Yo MTV Raps came on Saturday morning, and it may have came on Saturday night or Friday night and Saturday morning when it first premiered. So we were all talking about it on the band, away bus trip to the game, how dope it was and how we all enjoyed it. But the first show, it was kind of hosted, co-hosted by both Fab Five Freddy, who nobody knew who he was from Adam. He was just some cool black guy on the screen. Reading back through history, I learned that he was really influential in the hip hop shows and the bringing kind of the Bronx hip hop to downtown New York and intermarrying the two, basically getting the white people into it. He was really responsible for helping that happen. And helping, the hip hop shows pop off and hip hop parties pop off at the Roxy. He had a great influence in that. And he was also influential in the art world. He was friends with Jean-Michel Basquiat. He was friends with Andy Warhol and things of that nature. And he's an artist also himself. But back then, he was just some black guy with some glasses on, talking cool and talking to all of the rappers like he knew them at the time, which I guess he did because, like I said, he was in that scene. But the first show, as I recall off of the top of my head, they played, it was a 30-minute show, so they played like 3 or maybe 4 videos. I remember for sure they played BDP, My Philosophy, KRS-One and BDP, My Philosophy. They played Eric B. and Rakim's Follow the Leader. And since Run DMC was co-hosting the show, that means that they played Run DMC, Who's House, which is Run's house. And they also may have played a video by Salt and Pepper, but I don't really remember. But anyway, the show was crazy dope. And like I said, afterwards, the show came on every Saturday morning at, it might have been 9 a.m. or it might not have been that crazy of a time. It may have been 10 a.m. So whatever I did on Friday, no matter what, I was in front of that television watching Yo MTV Raps every morning at 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. and actually recording the show while I was watching it. So I had these mini videotapes. I have like about 30 or 25 tapes of videos, not specifically from Yo MTV Raps, but that was really my only video source. So yeah, from Yo MTV Raps, I have about 30 tapes, the VHS tapes, VCR tapes, full of videos that I taped over the years, over like a 10-year period. I still have those in my collection. I still pop them into the VCR sometimes and watch them. But anyway, so that was real influential into hip hop. Actually seeing the artists, and Fab Five Freddy would have the artists on the show during the video segments or in the middle of before the commercials. He would talk to them and interview them. So getting to see the artists and actually getting to see them in the visual art of their video was also a big influence. That's how, you got to know which styles you wanted to rock, which sneakers you wanted to rock, which Nikes were a big sneaker at the time that many rappers were wearing. And then they were also wearing these things that you had no idea how to get your hands on. They were rocking like Gucci suits that were like just total big Gucci winter jackets. And Eric B and Rakim at the time, they had got $1 million deal. They were like the first rappers to ever sign $1 million record contract with MCA. And so at that time, Eric B had bought a Rolls Royce, and in the inside of the Rolls Royce, he had his seats. He had Gucci seats, and all of this was done by this guy named Dapper Dan. So Dapper Dan was a great fashion influence, and they were wearing these like full-length leather MCM coats and MCM suits and things like that we had no clue how to get our hands on anything like that. I did actually get my hands on like a Dapper Dan made up Korean Fila suit with Fila all up the arm and the big Fila sign on the back and the Adidas sign on the back. I already mentioned that, but I actually had the experience of feeling that presence of my hip hop gear. Like, yeah, I'm in the house. I got my Fila suit. Wasn't it when I used to wear it? Everybody used to be on my jock at the high school basketball games at Warren Reston Reserve, and all of the girls thought I was cute and everything, and so on and so forth. But on away from that, so. That was a great time. Yo MTV Raps brought in like a whole cultural revolution, especially to my small town, for people to pay attention to hip hop and to learn which artists were hot. And the way it kind of went for me, this is the way like I started collecting my albums. It was like if you had a hot video and I liked your flow and I liked your accent, which like a New York accent was a big thing on me at the time also, because it just sounded better when you rhymed and you had a little New York accent. It just made the delivery of your rhymes sound better to me. I guess being from a country town, you're thinking that the New York accent is the coolest thing ever. Like when I spent that summer in Atlanta, we only had like 2 movies to watch. My uncle had a tape of Krush Groove, and on the other side, the next movie after Krush Groove was Beverly Hills Cop. So I watched those movies every day during that summer of 86. And Krush Groove, the fat boys with their crazy accent, and they're talking like, yo, that's Def, yo, them boys, that's Run DMC, them boys are Def, yo, and they talking all of this Def and fresh, like, so, and they were all wearing their Adidas suits in the movie, so that was a crazy influence, the Krush Groove movie. Like, I watched that movie every day. I still watch that movie because it's like a great movie. It just Run DMC, coming in with the King of Rock to start off the movie. Curtis Blow is in the movie. Russell Simmons is in the movie. He didn't really have that big of a part in the movie, but he was in there. And then the character that was playing Russell Simmons, I forget his name, Blair Underwood. He actually played Russell Simmons, and Run was actually playing himself. You had DMC was in the movie. Jam Master Jay, LL Cool J did his thing in the movie. So that was a really great hip hop movie. If you asked me, that was like the best hip hop movie ever out of all of the other garbage that had came out before or after, which was like rapping and breaking. And Beat Street was another great movie, but Beat Street, it wasn't as great as Krush Groove to me. So anyway, on to something else here. On to the next topic, which we're going to get into. Like I said, this school year of 88/89 and the albums that came during that period, which there weren't that many. I'll talk about them here.